And I told the governor, there's no more important project right now in the country as far as I'm concerned. I've directed my team, not figuratively but literally, to move heaven and earth to get it done as soon as humanly possible. So since Sunday morning, we've worked closely with Governor Shapiro, Senators Casey and Fetterman, and Representative Boyle, it's his district, and Mayor Kenney to provide the necessary federal assistance to support an all-hands-on-deck response to this crisis. It is a crisis. And I want to thank these officials for working collaboratively, effectively, efficiently with each other and with our federal team. I also want to thank the first responders who dealt with the immediate aftermath and the workers on site. We saw some of them today as we flew over to the site. We've been working 24/7 to clear the debris. Within hours of the crash, officials from the U.S. Department of Transportation were on the ground supporting Pennsylvania officials to get the site cleared and be able to start the rebuilding. The immediate release of $3 million is called quick release emergency funds were made to offset the cost of repairs. This is just a down payment, obviously. It's a lot more than that. We're going to be getting a lot more federal funding out the door in the coming weeks. Additionally, Pennsylvania has already received $8.9 billion from the bipartisan infrastructure law, including $6.5 billion for transportation projects, which gives the governor some flexibility to move existing state funds to this project right away, knowing that this money is in the bank. Also, union crews have been hard at work 24/7 since the crash. Operating engineers, the laborers, the carpenters, cement finishers, teamsters, and the iron workers. They're going to help rebuild, and they're doing it right now. And folks here know that the crews finished demolition on Thursday ahead of schedule, and now they're working on emergency repairs to quickly and safely reopen the roadway to traffic. The federal government got committed. We're going to reimburse 100% of this phase of the work, and well over the first 200 days. And then after that, 90% of the work. We'll be here until the end. We won't leave until it's finished. And that's why I asked Mayor Landrieu, who runs my operation relative to the infrastructure legislation, to lead the effort. He knows as mayor what it takes, Mayor Kenney, as you know, to get things done. New Orleans never had any problems, like tornadoes and hurricanes and floods and the like. But all kidding aside, he's on this every day. We're using materials made of recycled glass, manufactured here in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, and the design of the project is incredibly innovative in order to get this work done in record time. We're also working with local officials to redirect traffic, minimize congestion, and along alternative routes. Look, I grew up not very far from here, just across the line in Pennsylvania. From Pennsylvania in Claymont, Delaware. I know how important this stretch of highway is, not just to Philly, but to the entire Northeast Corridor and to my home state. Over 150,000 vehicles travel on it every day, including 14,000 trucks. It's critical. It's critical to our economy, and it's critical to our quality of life. We're going to continue to do everything we can within our power to get this back open as quickly and easily as possible. We're not leaving until it's done, and we're going to get this done, God willing, in record time. I'm looking forward to hearing more from the folks on the ground in a moment, but now I'm going to turn it over to the governor, who is doing one hell of a job. He gets tired of my calls, I think, but he's doing a hell of a job. Thank you. Gov?
Thank you.
There you are.
President. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you for being here and making it a priority to be with us today. I've remarked many times that this is an all-hands-on-deck approach. Local government, under Mayor Kenney's leadership, our state government, and our federal partners working together to get I-95 reopened. I need you to know that in the first hours after the bridge collapsed, after this tragedy in our community, President Biden and the White House were on the phone to us saying, "What do you need? We are here for you." You heard the President outline the resources that are going to come to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to rebuild this critical artery. It's not just the resources, though, that the President has delivered. He's helped us cut through the red tape. He, together with Administrator Batt, Mayor Landrieu, have provided incredible leadership. And so, Mr. President, I want to say thank you for making us a priority, and thank you for delivering for the good people of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and this nation. We appreciate you so very much. The President correctly talked about all the different teammates we have in this process. And I need to say a special word about the men and women of organized labor who are rebuilding this roadway. The Philadelphia building trades, all of our union tradesmen and women are doing an unbelievable job. Mr. President, in a moment, you're going to meet Gregory. He's with Local 542. He's an operator. Gregory just got off his shift, and instead of going home to sleep, Mr. President, he came here to see you and talk about the work that he and his colleagues are doing. These are special people working their tails off, and Mr. President, they are working 24/7, literally around the clock. They're working together with my team at PennDOT, led by Secretary Mike Carroll, who's doing an incredible job. You know, Mr. President, Secretary Carroll's got a real nice office in Harrisburg, but he has not left his post here in Northeast Philadelphia overseeing this work. And Mr. Secretary, we appreciate your incredible work. And we all owe a debt of gratitude to our first responders, Philadelphia Fire, our state police, our Philadelphia police, everyone in law enforcement together with PEMA, represented here by Randy Padfield, my director of PEMA, and our state police, represented by Colonel Paris, who's with us. Our first responders have been truly awesome. I hope this tragedy has shown everyone that Pennsylvania can do big things, and that we are tested, we are able to meet this moment. And to me, this reconstruction on 95 is a great example of what's great about Pennsylvania. Our innovation meets our grit, and we work together to get this done. I also sense, even if you're not out doing the work of our tradespeople on the road, or doing the hard work in our federal government or our state government, folks here in Philly have a real renewed sense of civic pride through this project. Hell, they were watching a live stream at Xfinity Live last night while they were eating 95-cent wings. There's something special happening in our community, people coming together. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that motorists are hurting and business owners are hurting, but right now this community is coming together and lifting up those workers and making sure that they know we are supporting them. Folks, I can now talk a little bit more about the progress that we're making. And I can tell you now, I can state with confidence, that we will have I-95 reopen within the next 2 weeks. We are going to get traffic moving again, thanks to the extraordinary work that is going on here by these union trades workers. Mr. President, Senator Casey, Senator Fetterman, Congressman Boyle, we are so grateful for the incredible support that the federal government has provided us. We're proud to be your partners. We're proud to be on the same team with you. Mr. President, you know, and the First Lady knows maybe a lot better than you, this is a sports town. She loves her Philly sports. We love our Philly sports. This is our championship, and we are getting it done here in Philly. One of the teammates I'm proud to serve with is Senator Bob Casey, our senior senator, and it's my privilege to be able to welcome him to the podium now. Senator Casey.
Well, thanks very much. I want to start by commending and saluting the great work of the President. Mr. President, we're honored you're here. As always, we love when you're home, but we're especially grateful that you came immediately to Pennsylvania to help us rebuild this portion of I-95. Can't tell you how much I appreciate the working relationship that all of us have with the executive branch. President Biden and his team in the White House, Secretary Buttigieg, Administrator Batt, who's here, Mitch Landrieu as well, and so many others who are making it possible for us to get that initial dollars out the door, the emergency dollars, to meet the need so quickly. So, Mr. President, thank you on behalf of the people of Pennsylvania and well beyond for the immediate response. I want to commend and salute as well the governor and his team, Governor Shapiro and his office, Secretary Carroll, and all the men and women who make it possible for us to stand here today and be prepared to rebuild this section of I-95. And that goes as well, of course, obviously, to Mayor Kenney and his team. And when you think about it, as the President made reference to, and the Governor, all of those men and women who responded initially, those brave men and women, whether they're firefighters or emergency responders, employees of PennDOT, city workers, so many came to the aid of a community. And now you have a whole group of other great Pennsylvanians, union members and others, who are making it possible for us to rebuild I-95 in this section. So we're honored by that work. We still have more work to do, but I'm grateful to hear what the Governor just told us. And I'm also grateful that we have a delegation in this region. Whatever we need to do, Senator Fetterman and I, Representative Boyle, Representative Evans we saw earlier today, and so many others, supporting this effort to make sure that we get this done. But we're grateful for the leadership already and grateful for those who have done the hard work to respond and to begin the rebuilding process. So I'm grateful to be joined by a partner, Senator Fetterman, who's next up at the podium.
Mr. President, a little over a year ago, the President and I were standing right next to each other at a collapsed bridge in western Pennsylvania, a bridge that I drove over just the night before with my young son. And he showed up with just hours after that bridge collapsed there. And he promised to make sure that any resources that they needed and any help and support. And guess what? That bridge was rebuilt less than a year, well in front of time. And now I'm standing next to the President again, next to a collapsed bridge here. And he is here to commit to work with the Governor and the delegation to make sure that we get this fixed quick, fast as well too. This is a President that is committed to infrastructure. Yeah, and then on top of that, the dual kind of law of the inflation bill that is going to make sure that there's going to be bridges all across like this, all across America getting rebuilt. It's a pleasure to be here and to introduce my friend, Congressman Boyle Bile.
Well, thank you. I'm Congressman Brendan Boyle, but the main reason why I'm here, forget that I'm Congressman. More importantly, I am a Northeast Philadelphia resident and a daily commuter on that section of I-95. So you better believe how much I care about this infrastructure project and getting this reopened as quickly as possible. Mr. President, I just want to say thank you. That very early Sunday morning, my first phone call was to the White House. Mr. President, when we spoke on the phone earlier this week, and you pledged to me that this was your single most important infrastructure project right now, getting this rebuilt, that means the world to me and the millions of us who live in Philadelphia or the surrounding area. In my lifetime, I have never seen a president more engaged or in this city and area more often than President Joe Biden. So thank you. And Josh, I just want to say my second call, right after talking to the White House, my second call was to you. The work that you have done, your team, Mike Carroll, my former colleague, so many others, has really been remarkable. This is, as Josh mentioned, a great example of all hands on deck. Federal, state, and local officials working together. Mayor Jim Kenney, you've probably been to the site more than almost anyone, and I want to thank you and everyone involved with the city for your effort as well. You know, this is even bigger, though, than just repairing a critical part of I-95. As I pointed out earlier this week, if you draw a 50 or 75-mile radius circle anywhere on I-95 from Maine to Miami, this is the most densely populated. part of I-95. That's how critical this road is. But as critical as it may be, there's something even bigger at play. There is a cynicism that many of us have to fight in Washington day in and day out. Those who propagate a view that government can't do things, can't achieve big things. We're going to prove them wrong. Thank goodness we proved them wrong last term by passing and you signing the bipartisan infrastructure bill so that we have the resources to be able to meet and tackle this challenge. We're going to prove them wrong again by rebuilding, as Josh said, this road faster than any other similar collapse that we've seen in the country. That is the way we get people believing back in their government again. And with that, it is my honor to bring up the mayor of this great city of Philadelphia, Jim Kenney.
Thank you, Congressman. I've been in public office and elected office since 1992, and I've been through 5 presidents, including this one. I was at an anti-violence press conference the other day, and my phone kept ringing with a 202 area code, and I thought it was spam or something. And one of my deputy mayors called me and said, "Would you please answer the phone?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Because the president's calling you." He called me. I didn't call him. He called us. He called us about this, and he was always there through the hard times of the pandemic, of the testing, of the vaccine, of the lost revenue. We would not be the city we are right now without this man here. And I know he lives close. I know he's from Delaware, and he's considered himself almost a citizen here. But the President of the United States called me to see what he could do to help us. And that says all you need to know about this president and this man here. So thank you very much, Mr. President. We really appreciate it, and we love you. Thank you.
I might add, if I didn't, I'd be sleeping alone. You have to explain, I better explain that. Some don't know what I'm talking about. My wife's a Philly girl. All right, where are we going?
We're heading this way for
All right, we're going to go over and get the briefing.
Mr. President, Shailen Batt, FHA. Yep. We're coming right over here, you guys.
Where you want it? Over here?
Yep. So, Mr. President, you remember you told us that we were going to rebuild the backbone of the country. And one team, one fight, shoulder to shoulder, get it done in time it's humanly possible. And the governor has been leading this effort. You guys come on up. This is the material that's going to be used. Governor, why don't you give us a little brief?
All right, so right now they're trying to reset everything up here. I actually want to wait as they do fix up the camera, but important to note here, the governor does say that I-95 in Philadelphia is going to reopen here within 2 weeks after that major collapse. Let's pop up the audio as it appears the camera is now steady.
It's a recycled glass product made right in Delco in Delaware County that's 85% lighter than that dirt fill. This goes in the ground.
It's made from this glass.
There you go. It goes in the ground and it allows us to build up that foundation to pave over. We've got the CEO of the company who's here with us today. We've got Ryan Boyer, the leader of the Philadelphia Building Trades, whose women and
Ryan,
men
how you doing, pal?
are out there putting this material on. When we flew over in Marine One, we saw that big pile sitting on 95. That's this material that's going in the hole, and it's going to be used to pave over.
Come here. Delaware County, huh?
Yeah.
Now, my problem is I went to high school in Oxford Academy with a lot of folks from Delaware County.
Oh, no kidding.
And they get screwed up.
This is going to be tough, is it?
You know, well, no, it's good. It's good. But they, they thought they were from Delaware. I mean, and all kidding aside.
No.
Thank you.
No.
This is an example of the innovation as well. Beyond what, I mean, there's so much changing in manufacturing and what you're doing. So thank you.
I appreciate it. We've been able to put 3 manufacturing facilities in the States now, taking over Delaware buildings and diverting glass from landfill.
Yep. No, and both that has the environmental negative, positive impact and the prospect of the future that's going to be much more, how can I say it, secure.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks, man.
Pleasure. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ryan Boyer is the head of our Philadelphia Building Trades.
And I tell them all the time.
Labor for life.
I tell you what, man, you guys just endorsed me again, and I want to tell you, if I say anything you don't like, let me know, will you, man? He's got guns as big as my thighs. Good to see you, pal.
There you go.
And Mr. President, you should know when we said to Ryan Boyer, we're going to need crews out there 24/7.
Dennis,
They
good to see you.
delivered.
You
Dennis
guys have done
Pagliotti
a
from the
career.
Bricklayers.
You really have. You've been incredible. Are you kidding me?
Yep, thank you.
Operating engineers. Good to see you, pal.
Tell the President what time you finished work last night.
6 this morning.
6 this morning?
And you could have gone home to go to sleep, but
Could've, but I
came
came
here
here.
instead.
I'm glad you did, pal. I could personally thank you. I really mean it. Thank you. Proud of you.
We appreciate you very much.
The governor wanted to show the president it's a live feed.
Absolutely. So, Mr. President, we put up a live feed here.
Over here.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? To be able to see exactly
Actually, the
what's
live
happening.
feed's over here. That's from a few days ago. Mitch, if I could, maybe I'd show the President the rendering. This is what we saw up in the helicopter. We
yeah.
were saying we're going to have 3 lanes north, 3 lanes south. So this is that aggregate, which we just saw over there, in Delaware County. It's going to be underneath. We'll have 3 lanes north, 3 lanes south on the top. And then that will allow us to reconstruct the bridge on the 2 ends. And then once we reconstruct the bridge on the 2 ends, we'll move the traffic to the permanent bridge and then put the bridge in the middle.
There's a bridge on the other side. You can't see it from, I mean, you look at it and you look like it's only here, but it's on the other side.
That's right.
Northbound.
That's right. And this is a live feed. It's a brilliant idea by my Chief of Staff, Dana Fritz, to invite everybody to watch our progress. And apparently they're watching it at Philly sports bars all the time now. But you can see the aggregate that's going in right here.
Yep.
And I must tell you, Mr. President, yesterday, nothing was there. They were still cleaning up the ground. Look at the progress that they've made, roughly, I don't know, about halfway up the wall, Ryan Boyer?
No, that's about a third of the way.
A third of the way, okay. I'm an optimist, man. I'm glass half full. And so they're going to keep building that up.
They'll be done by the night.
No. Don't say that. And then they'll be able to pave over that and get the traffic moving again here soon.
You know what I keep saying? I'm optimistic. I'm more optimistic about the country than I've ever been. Not because I'm president, because things are changing so rapidly. Think of anything we've set our mind to as Americans. We've never, ever, ever failed. If we just do it together. I'm not a joke. I keep saying, we got to remember who the hell we are. We're the United States of America, for God's sake. We used to have the #1 infrastructure in the world. Now we're number 13. But you're bringing it back, right?
With your help and a bipartisan infrastructure bill.
You got it, man.
So, Mr. President, you have right now, bipartisan infrastructure law, 32,000 projects that have been funded in 4,500 communities, pushed $225 billion out of the door, and the President has said this is the #1 project and has said to all of us, shoulder to shoulder, hand to hand, get it done as fast as is humanly possible. And this is what it looked like when you said if we do big things together, we can get big things done quick. And the governor has just been doing an unbelievable job, and this is a one team, one fight effort, sir, that you put in place.
Well, look, the reason I say this, I'm not being parochial because, Philadelphia, it's like the second home for me, and because it's so close to my state, but it's because where this collapse took place is in the middle of a working class area. It's in the middle of an area that hardworking people look at every day and affects their daily lives. Just the community, forget interstate, just the community. And I think the most important thing we've got to do is demonstrate to hardworking people that it's a new day. Excuse me for saying this again, but my dad used to have an expression, not a joke, from the time I was a kid. He said, "Joe, remember, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay." That's what we're trying to do, to change the nature of, instead of building from trickle-down economy, not a whole lot trickle down on my dad's kitchen table, but you build it from the middle out and the bottom up. The wealthy do very well. I'm all for billionaires. I'd like to be one if I could, as long as they start paying their fair share. But all kidding aside, everybody does better. So thank you. That's why we got to do this.
Mr. President, thank you. You guys, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Mr. President. Head this way.
I'm heading down to a labor conference. I know you don't know much about the labor stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right, that concludes the comments there from President Biden as well as Governor Shapiro, who now says that within 2 weeks they expect to have I-95, that portion that did collapse, back up and running. Obviously, we were initially told it could be months, but it appears now they do plan to do it a lot quicker.